Welcome to the Crewcast, the Crew's live podcast about video games and all things Crew. Join us and many of your favorite crew members as we review games, talk about the new Crew series, answer your questions, and much more. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Crewcast.
Welcome to the Crewcast episode 11. This is 20th of July. We are joined today by the lovely Bellbuzz, Gizmo, Danny, and myself. And we're going straight to the gaming news.
Alright, so probably the biggest thing right now going on as we speak is Comic-Con. And lots of things are being announced, be it gaming, TV shows, movies, comics. Probably seems to take a smaller role to some people's chagrin, but lots of stuff being talked about. So we're going to run through just a few things real quick. Some of the characters from X-Men Days of Future Past, which is a new movie that'll be out, have been announced. Obviously, two of the biggies. Xavier and Magneto.
Yay! There's Bishop and Colossus in the pictures. So
Isn't Bishop like a time traveler?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
fairly sure Bishop's a time traveler.
Yeah, so I mean, this obviously there was talk about possibly the new X-Men movies being maybe reboots or going more back into the past or just new X-Men that haven't been dealt with. But obviously, they've signed some big names when you've got Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen in it as their two characters we just talked about. So it looks interesting. Should be pretty cool. So Danny, I know you're a big Batman Arkham Origins fan. It looks like they've announced that you can play as Worst Nightmare in Batman Arkham Origins. Anything that you've seen or about Arkham Origins that is worth talking about?
They revealed a new assassin that's going to be in the game called Copperhead, and it's a female assassin, which looks pretty cool. I don't know if anyone else has seen anything that caught their eye from it.
I'm just excited about the game. I mean, I enjoyed the series. It's a good series. I don't like the DRM that it uses, but it's definitely a great series. So they've done it really well. So I'm looking forward to the release. And there was some talk also, just to mention here, I'll throw this out there, it's kind of Batman related, that there might be a Batman Beyond movie.
Yeah, I heard about this. That would be awesome. I love Batman Beyond.
So Batman Beyond, and Gizmo will correct everything I'm wrong about here, but that comic, and they even had a cartoon there for a while here in the States.
Yeah.
But it's basically about, Bruce Wayne kind of is now old and can't really take the mantle of Batman. So, he gets a protege to kind of take over as Batman, and it's set obviously in the future because, Bruce Wayne's older. So that could be very interesting. It'd be interesting to see if maybe the last movie is kind of a lead into that. Do they try to go along with, the one character who at the very end, that cop, goes into the Batcave. So, how will it be handled? So it'll be interesting.
I haven't seen Batman 3 yet.
So, Battlestar Galactica, one of the writers from the TV show, Giz is a big fan of Battlestar Galactica, but one of their writers has been working with Sony, I think one of the West Coast Sony divisions, on what probably is going to be a PS4 title, but no idea on what it will be. So, possibly I would assume something sci-fi-ish. But I was kind of curious to hear what Giz will think about this, knowing that maybe somebody who worked on Battlestar Galactica is now kind of turned the page in a sense. They're not working on a TV show, but they're working on, a video game.
Well, a writer, to start with, moving on to a video game, that's good because obviously we do like games to have great stories. So that's actually good news to me. So, yeah, I think that might be good. I mean, we don't know exactly what it is, but it sounds like it might be good.
Yeah, my only fear is just, story alone doesn't make a game. I mean, in fact, even most of the best games out there generally don't have very good stories. I mean, they're just plausible. It's more of the gameplay. So hopefully, the game actually has good gameplay, and then, this writer then adds a nice story to it. That'll just be icing on the cake.
Yeah, I think games also do need stories though. Like, I prefer games that have a great story. I can really get into it. Like, I mean, single player games, I prefer the great stories. Multiplayer games, less about the stories because I kind of get caught up in just playing with stuff. Single player games, I really can get into the story of it. Like Metal Gear Solid, you can get like brought into the story. Like Walking Dead. I haven't played Last of Us, but obviously, like that game would probably count. But I do agree, obviously, gameplay is obviously 'cause it's a game. But I think if you have a great story, then it's I think it's less icing on the cake and it's more part of the cake.
Having a writer could be good, could be bad. I mean, it all comes down to the gameplay. If the gameplay's bad, the story could be, you know, Citizen Kane, but it's still going to be a garbage game. All right, so let's just quickly mention a few other little things at Comic-Con. Harrison Ford was there for Ender's Game, the new movie.
Ooh.
So he's in that. Matt Smith was there. He talked about, I think, kind of leading the role of the Doctor. Obviously, Dead Rising had more information talked about it. Microsoft did have a pretty decent presence, and some of the stuff is still going on this week, so we can't talk about everything because it hasn't happened. And The Walking Dead, they had I think Kirkland was there, I believe, and I think they showed a trailer or a teaser.
Yeah, has the trailer like literally just gone out?
So I mean, some of the
I'm
stuff
looking
is
at the
occurring
live feed.
as we're talking. I mean, and some of the stuff will have already occurred between when we recorded this on Friday night and when I air it tomorrow on Saturday. So we're not necessarily going to be up to date 100%. And we might recap Comic-Con in our next podcast, any of the big name news. So let's go ahead and move on. I mean, there'll be some links in here. IGN has some really great coverage of Comic-Con, so I would recommend you go there. Links in the description of this video and in the podcast itself. All right, so let's move on to our crew news. First thing is 1.62 and all of our servers.
Yep.
So I'll take this one. And what I'll say is Bucket, we use a lot of Bucket plugins on all of our servers. The RPG server uses a ton of them, but we do use a lot on all of them. Bucket has not really put out what they consider a stable beta. Once they do, and the plugins that we use work with said beta, we will update. Until then, 1.52. If you already have 1.62, you're using the new launcher, just go in and create a new profile that has 1.52 also, and you can just click a button and switch between 1.52 or 1.62. You can still play on all of our servers, and you can still do new stuff. But as soon as it's physically possible, we will switch. We get a lot of grief about this. But some people just run servers that don't have plugins. Some people run servers that don't have Bucket. And sure, you can do 1.62 for those. But we really have a lot of Bucket stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so the next segment, I'm going to let Piper discuss this one.
I think we're crazy. We're insane doing this. But
Yeah.
on August the 10th, whose idea was this? Who am I putting blame on for this?
I forget who, somebody sent me a Steam message, one of our fans, suggesting this.
On August the 10th, we are going to do another 24-hour end of summer live stream. Woo!
Yeah,
Danny
Chris.
And Danny
Yeah.
left the game.
Now, just to clarify too, it's not going to be a charity live stream. It's going to be a 24-hour live stream. It might go a little longer, but it'll at least be 24 hours. So that's all we're going to guarantee. We're going to play some games. We're going to play some games with you guys. We'll have more information as we get closer, but it should be a ton of fun. And I know some of you are going to be like, well, that's not the end of summer. It's kind of a loose term. But, some of the kids are going to start going back to school like a week or two away from that date, if maybe not even near that date in some cases. Some people are on vacation crew-wise, so we picked this date because it works the best for us. So if we wait too much later, it would be the end of August. Kids would be back in school, So we wanted to kind of do it when we were still in summer and kids were still home, because I know obviously this gives you the ability to watch it more. So it should be a ton of fun. Now this also, and I'm going to let Danny take the next one, it changes the date for what we were going to do on the 10th, but Danny can explain that.
So on the 10th, we were going to originally do the Crew versus Fans Wasteland event, and since we have decided to do the 24-hour live stream, we're going to move the date to the 17th.
Yep.
So the date for that will be changed, and we will have fun trying to kill you on the 17th.
Yeah, so if that date is a problem for people, we're sorry, but we had to do the live stream either the 10th or 17th, and too many of the crew, a few of the crew had issues with the 17th, but they weren't going to be in the Wasteland event, so we switched them, and it worked out better for a few people too that have communicated about wanting to play in it. Friends of the Crew was, so that's what we're going to do. So a big push here in summer for some fun stuff. You're welcome to, in the description of the video, post something about like games you'd like to see us play on the live stream,
Yes,
things of that nature. Be it games you'd like us to play that maybe are just us, or games that you'd like us to play that are group games. Insert Cops and Robbers.
Hide and seek.
Hide and seek. Insert Tekkit. Feed the Beast.
Better than wolves.
Oh dear.
All right, so we're going to move on now to our main segment, and we're going to kind of go through this one relatively quick. But summer's in full swing here, and there are some shows that are airing during summer, and there are just shows, TV shows we're talking here, that maybe people aren't watching. So what we wanted to do was each of us are going to give you a show that we like that maybe isn't as well known, that maybe if you're bored, if it's a rainy day, you're homesick, got nothing to do, this is a good time to catch up maybe on some shows, or maybe a show that you just weren't aware of. So I'll go first and say that a show that I've enjoyed watching, and it's a Canadian sci-fi show, but it's called Continuum. Now, if you watch this show, you'll see a lot of actors that you've seen in a lot of sci-fi shows. It seems like they always use a lot of the same actors, but they're good at their roles. But the premise to this show, it's in the future. There's a bunch of criminals that, because of some act that happens, I don't want to say too much, they go back in time. And also, some guards, police, go back in time. And one of the main characters, the main character, is this girl who is a cop in the future, and she goes back with them. And now she has to deal with the fact she's, back in, basically present day here somewhat. And she lost her, her family. Her son is in the future, her husband. And she's got to try to figure out, what do I do? I got to stop these criminals, these terrorists or whatever that went back in time, and maybe try to find a way to get home. But I don't want to say a lot just because, it's more fun to discover the things. But it's a really good show. And I'm happy that it's on like a Canadian channel, because if it was on Sci-Fi, like produced by Sci-Fi, it would probably get canceled after like 1 or 2 seasons. They're in their 2nd season, but if you like Sci-Fi, it's a really good show. I think Giz started watching it and likes it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to put this one on from mine. I really like it. It's been renewed for season 3 as well, I believe.
Yeah, so it's a great show. So if you like sci-fi and you're missing out on some stuff, go catch up on Continuum.
Sounds good.
Piper?
My show that a friend of mine watched and said it was amazing, and I was like, really? I don't know. It's all about lawyers, and it sounds really boring, but it's awesome. It's called Suits, and it's set in this law firm, and there's loads of like competition going on and sneaky things going on and other things going on that I don't really want to go into, but it's kind of, it's funny, but it's like drama as well, and it can be serious, but there's like a funny edge to it, and yeah, it's really interesting, and I like it a lot more than what I thought, and the theme tune is really catchy, and I've been singing it at work like all the time. I've been watching the show, so yeah. It's just starting its 3rd season in America, I believe, this week, I think it was. So yeah, that's my one.
Okay. Danny?
The show I picked was Family Tree, which has got the guy from the IT crowd in it, and it was created by the guy who did Spinal Tap. It's pretty much a single camera show, and it's about a guy that finds a chest, and he finds out about his family and is going through his family history and stuff. It looks really good. I'm about to start watching it, I think tomorrow, so I'm gonna hopefully like it. I hope you guys would like it too.
And lastly, the Doctor.
I've watched so many shows, but like any shows that I don't count as diamonds in the rough. Like, would you count Broadchurch as a show that be not well known at the minute?
Definitely not well known here.
Yeah, okay, I'll pick
Yeah.
Broadchurch then. Broadchurch had its first season, and it stars David Tennant, who played the Doctor. He was a 10th Doctor before Matt Smith. So he plays a police detective. Olivia Colman's in it as well, and she's really good. She plays the other detective. And basically, it's kind of in a British seaside town, and a young boy gets murdered. And there's about 8 episodes, I believe, and it spans across a few weeks, and it's all about like who killed the boy. It's like a murder mystery thing, but it's really good. And it's very character driven as well.
Yeah, I was amazed watching this show because there was all the hype about it, and I didn't start watching it until I think it was after the last episode showed, and I watched it on catch up, and it was so good.
Yeah.
It's like tense, and they build the drama up, but at some points there's like no dialogue, and it's just like the actors just looking at each other and walking down the road, and it's just absolutely amazing.
I watched it with my mum, and we were like, next episode. But like the second episode, I actually guessed who it was, and I was right.
Oh, I didn't guess it until the end.
Now I should add for this show, if you do watch this show, it's got some language in it. In the UK, they will air things a little bit more edgy for American TV standards. Now it doesn't have any nudity or anything like that. But they do use some language that wouldn't go over on regular TV here. So if you are younger and you're trying to look into watching this, you probably should check with your parents. But I want to throw that out there. But I've watched this show too, the whole season. Very good. I don't know if it's a typical, UK British style show, because when I watched it, I was like, the things that struck me about the show was the fact that it had a very dark undertone to the whole show. But there was, as Piper said, a lot of points when here in the States they wouldn't have such long, quiet, drawn-out moments, where it's just looking at characters, people reacting to the weight or travesty of their situation. You just don't see that as much. So it seemed like it had a much more darker tone to it. But it is kind of it's a horrific situation, the murder. So I really enjoyed it, and I don't want to say a lot because I don't want to spoil anything, but I really do. If you're into this type of stuff, or even if you're not, it's definitely a good show to check out.
Yeah, David Tennant's acting, it shows what a brilliant actor he is. It's completely different from the Doctor.
Well, and for me, the big test when I watched it was, I'm like, okay, I watched Doctor Who, and I enjoyed David Tennant as the Doctor, and I'm like, if I watch this show and it's like, it's the Doctor, just get your TARDIS. You can solve the mystery by going through time or go back in time and see who did it. And I have had that occurrence on other shows where an actor is just so pigeonholed into a certain role, you don't see him as somebody else. But, I didn't feel that way at all with his performance. He did an excellent job, and, he was this detective instead of the Doctor. Both start with the letter D, though.
Yeah.
All right, so those are some shows that maybe you should check out this summer, or fall, whatever suits your fancy. But all great shows. So we're going to go back now into the next segment here and talk deals of the week. But we're going back to the same deal as last week's Steam sale. It's going to be wrapping up in about 2 or 3 days after this episode airs. Get those daily deals if you see stuff you like. I don't know if you guys have got much on the Steam sale, but it's we're probably 3/4 or more through it.
I've not
Yep.
bought as much as last year.
I've bought more than I've ever bought before. Not like loads and
Seriously?
loads, but yeah, I've kind of like held back buying stuff for the past 2 years. I
Ah.
got both Fallouts.
Oh yeah.
What else did I get?
Got Tomb Raider.
Did you?
I did.
I'm
Only got a
tempted to
few
get
games.
I'm tempted to get Skyrim Legendary Edition, but it's probably going to be cheaper next year.
Yeah, I always end up buying stuff, even if I don't play it. And sometimes I buy stuff, that's bundled, so the crew can get copies. Sometimes I buy stuff that is just cheap, and I want to have it maybe as a giveaway when we do the live stream on the 10th.
Monaco's on sale.
So if you want to get some great deals on games, check out the Steam sale.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff going on. It'll continue to go on. A lot of great games, a lot of great prices. All right, so we're going to wrap up now with questions from you guys. We had a lot of great questions. Not getting a lot of video questions. And when we do, either one of two things happens. The video question is a question we've already done, like how did you meet the crew or how did you guys form the crew? We've answered that a ton. Or it's a private video and I'm not like a friend of yours on YouTube, so I can't see it. So you want to make it unlisted when you make a video and publish the link to that. That way I can watch it, but nobody else will see it. If you make it public, any of your subscribers or followers or whatever will see it. But make it unlisted and send me a link. I've gotten quite a few that are private, and it's like, oh, can't see it. So our first question comes from Skeletos. And he asks, will you ever have a giant PvP arena server like the Netherdome? Will we?
Yes.
We will?
Yeah, yes.
I mean, we'll definitely be doing more Netherdome-ish
I
type
don't
stuff.
know.
I mean, we're going to try to organize at some point another Netherdome tournament. We're just trying to figure out how to better do it. Because the last one we officially did, we had a lot of people sign up, but people just don't show.
Yeah.
So
That's
we'll probably do like a last minute sign up thing where maybe we're live streaming and say, okay, we're going to be doing another Dome tournament tonight. Here's the URL, sign up. And then give out like times immediately. I think Piper, you defeated somebody on another Dome tournament, didn't you?
I might have done Mr. Danny Taylor. Oh,
Danny, can you remember?
Gosh, he left the game.
Fist pump. Fist pump.
Fist pump.
Fist pump.
It was when we actually
back in
met
the day.
Danny. That was
Yeah.
when we met Danny.
Danny,
and I
fist
beat
pump.
him. I killed him like anything.
Yeah, that was Danny's pre-crew time. So we probably won't run like a giant PvP arena server like 24/7 like our other servers, but we'll definitely be doing some arena type battles, and we'll definitely be doing another Dome tournament, and we'll have some prizes when we do an official one. But we really want to have some definite way of locking people in so that they'll actually show up. Because the Netherdome tournament was great, but the last 2 or 3 rounds, a lot of people didn't show. So then you get everybody getting automatic buys, people automatically going through to latter rounds who never actually had to fight like the other earlier ones. So
why did they call it a buy? I always wondered.
I think it's just because you say bye-bye, I'm going on to the next round.
That was random.
All right, next question comes from Addison992, and he or she asks, is Extra still in the crew? I haven't seen him in a while. And then he wants to know how to send a picture to us.
Who's Extra?
Extra is in the crew. He's not here today. He was in our last podcast, and he's been in some of our recent videos. But Extra did leave the crew at one point because he had started a job that was working him like 12-hour days. That job ended, the contract work or whatever ended, so he came back. So Extra is back in the crew. He kind of went friend of the crew while he was working. So he is back. And if you want to send a picture to us, I think the best thing to do is sign up on our forum, and links are in the description of this, and either post it for people to see, or you could PM it on the forum to one of the crew. Okay, next comes a question from Munsterman3000. And it was, Boz, why did you decide to add more people to the crew when you only started with yourself, Lizzie, and Abby? Well, I actually started with myself, Lizzie, and Paige. Abby kind of came in a little bit later, but she was kind of like the fourth. But again, this isn't really how we met, but I've answered this before, but we get asked it a lot. So the reason I added more people is because I wanted to do more stuff with the channel and play other games and get more aggressive with stuff we were building, get into the build contests, and things that Lizzie and Paige and them aren't really suited to do either in Minecraft or just the other games just aren't their thing. I mean, I'm a gamer from heart. I mean, I've been playing games, since the Atari 2600. So I've been playing games for a long time. So I love games. So I didn't just make videos just because Lizzie liked Minecraft. I like Minecraft and I like games. So I enjoy playing all kinds of stuff. So I wanted to do more with the channel and more games and opened it up. Now I got really lucky in a sense that the people that we added were actually good people to play with and fun. So I anticipated you never know what's going to happen when you add people. People may not fit, but we got really lucky with that initial group that we got a lot of great people, and we've had friendships that have evolved now, and we play constantly and do stuff constantly. So it was an amazing first step, and then we've always started adding people who add a lot to the channel and become friends too. So we've been really lucky.
Yeah.
All right, and our last question, and I always get a kick out of this one, but I'll let you guys deal with this one. It's from I don't know if it's Morvit or More Xvid. I don't know what this guy's name is, but it's MOR.
You pronounce it more.
Okay, so you basically cough up like something from your lungs. No offense to repeat his name, Giz.
More.
Okay, so could you guys make and upload vids more often?
Oh my god. What? It's like... Go on.
Yeah, we get asked that quite a lot, I think. We upload one a
Why?
day, which is brilliant, and sometimes we even upload two a day. And you got to remember this for us. I mean, it's fun, it's a hobby, it's we do other stuff. We have jobs and lives and family and other commitments that we have to keep. So we can't like upload loads and loads and loads and loads of videos. But I think one per day. I think that's more than what most channels do.
Yeah, some bigger channels do like one per week, one per month sometimes even.
Yeah, I mean, I get a kick out of this one because when I first started doing the channel, I mean, I tried to put a video up a day once we kind of got going. And I got grief. It's like, oh, you're putting too many videos up. Just put one up a week. That's all we care about. And I'm just like, no, I mean, I think when we're starting and trying to grow and really get ourselves out there, we want to try to put out content. And I think a lot of good channels do put out a video a day. And, we put out more than a video a day. I mean, Piper said, some days we put out two. I mean, I guarantee you pretty much every week there's more than 7 videos that go out. And sometimes we do more than one because sometimes we get grief if it's not always Minecraft related. Oh, don't play Cube World. Don't play Terraria. We just want Minecraft. It's like, well, no, we're going to play the games that we like to play. We always have. But Minecraft will always be a focus. I think, we're trying to put out a lot of different stuff in small bits. I mean, we don't like constantly throw out DayZ or constantly throw out Terraria. We focus with Minecraft as our main push and, various Minecraft things. But we put other stuff out, be it if it's Piper playing Fez, Giz playing Don't Starve. So there's more than that. But I don't think we could put out more than we do now. I mean, I think I'm pretty happy with probably 9 or so videos a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a danger as well, isn't there, of overdoing things and cramming so many things in, and people are like, what do I watch? What do I watch?
Yeah.
Sometimes less is more, so you don't want to have too many. Like, if you had like 100 a week, that would be ridiculous.
Oh my God, Danny!
I was waiting for it. I thought he might jump in front of you.
I'm
So-
very jumpy today. That's not fair.
I mean, I think it really comes down to the fact, too, that, I mean, there's only so much time. I mean, like Piper said, people work, people have family, friends, a life. It's impossible to constantly be playing, constantly recording. So
You're right,
before,
party people sometimes.
and if we were to try to hang around too much together to record all the stuff, this kind of stuff starts to happen.
Yeah,
So
we're
at some
driving each
point-
other insane.
Yeah, sometimes we need timeouts, and what we're going to do now is we're going to say goodbye, and I'm going to put everybody in their timeout corners. So if you guys want to say goodbye and go to your timeout corners, we will head out.
Bye, buzz.
Bye.
Thanks for watching the Crewcast. We hope you tune in again next time. Compass.